first noticed something was wrong about a month ago. It was subtle at first, easy to dismiss. A book out of place, my shoes slightly moved, the faint smell of unfamiliar cologne in my apartment. I live alone, so I shrugged these off as my own forgetfulness, but the uneasy feeling wouldn't leave me. One night, after a long day at work, I came home to find my front door slightly ajar. My heart pounded in my chest as I cautiously stepped inside. Everything seemed normal, but the sense of intrusion was overwhelming. I checked every room, every closet, and under the bed, but found nothing. I convinced myself it was just the wind, yet deep down, I knew something was off. The following week, things escalated. I started receiving strange messages on my phone. They were always from unknown numbers and contained just a few words. Nice dress today. Loved your hair. Sleep well. Each message made my skin crawl. Something was watching me, or someone. I changed my locks, installed security cameras, and even bought a dog for protection. Despite my efforts, the messages continued. I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, even in my own house. Sleep became a luxury as every creak and rustle kept me on edge. My dog, Max, would often bark at nothing, his hackles raised. I knew he sensed it too. One evening, I decided to review the footage from my security cameras. As I scanned through the recordings, I saw nothing unusual until I reached the early hours of the morning. There, in the grainy footage, I saw a shadowy figure standing at the end of my property, staring at my bedroom window. The figure stood there for hours, unmoving, just watching. My blood ran cold. I took the footage to the police, but they were dismissive. Without a clear face or evidence of a crime, there was little they could do. Frustrated and terrified, I felt utterly alone. My friends tried to comfort me, but their words fell hollow. They couldn't understand the constant dread that consumed me. Then came the night that shattered my last shred of peace. I woke up to the sound of my bedroom door creaking open. In the dim light, I saw the silhouette of a man standing in the doorway. My heart raced as I reached for my phone, but it was gone from my bedside table. The man took a step closer, and I saw the glint of a knife in his hand. I screamed, and Max lunged at the intruder, his ferocious growls filling the room. In the chaos, I managed to slip past the man and run out of the house. I banged on my neighbour's door, begging for help. The police arrived quickly this time, but the man was gone. Max had chased him off, but not before he left a chilling message on my bedroom wall. It said, "I'll be back." I moved out the next day, leaving behind the life that I had built. The sense of safety that I took for granted was shattered beyond repair. I constantly look over my shoulder, haunted by the memory of that night. The unseen watcher is still out there, somewhere, waiting, and I know deep down that he will find me again. I've always been a night owl, often finding myself wandering the quiet streets of my neighbourhood long after everyone else had gone to bed. It was during one of these midnight strolls that I first saw her. She was standing under a flickering street lamp, her face hidden in the shadows. Something about her presence was unsettling, but I couldn't look away. As I approached, she turned and walked into the darkness, but I felt a strange compulsion to her. She moved with an eerie grace, barely making a sound. I quickened my pace, my curiosity overcoming my better judgment, but no matter how fast I walked, she always remained just out of reach. The next night, I saw her again. This time, she was standing outside my apartment building, staring up at my window. My heart skipped a beat. How did she know where I lived? I hurried inside, locking the doors behind me. I watched from my window as she slowly turned and disappeared into the night. Over the next few days, she became a constant presence. I would catch glimpses of her in the reflections, always watching me. Her eyes were piercing blue, cold and unfeeling. I couldn't escape her gaze. She was everywhere, in shop windows, car mirrors, and even the screen of my phone. It was as if she was always just behind me, her eyes burning into my back. I tried to ignore her, to go about my life as if nothing was wrong. But the more I tried, the more she invaded my thoughts. I began to see her in my dreams, her icy stare freezing me in place. I would wake up drenched in sweat, her image etched into my mind. Desperate for answers, I started researching local legends and folklore. I found stories of a ghostly figure known as the Reflection, said to haunt those who had wronged others. But I couldn't think of anything I had done to deserve this torment. I was a good person, wasn't I? One night, as I lay in bed, I heard a faint whisper. It was her voice, calling my name. I bolted upright, my heart pounding. The room was dark, but I could feel her presence. I turned on the light, and there she was, standing at the foot of my bed. Her eyes bored into mine, and I felt an overwhelming sense of dread. "What do you want?" I whispered, my voice trembling. She didn't answer. Instead, she raised her hand and pointed to the mirror on my wall. Slowly, I got up and walked towards it. My reflection stared back at me, but it wasn't quite right. There was something off, something sinister. I reached out to touch the glass, and my reflection smiled, a cruel, twisted smile that sent shivers down my spine. In that moment, I realized the truth. The Reflection wasn't a ghost or a legend. She was a part of me, the darkness I had kept hidden for so long, all the lies, the betrayals, the guilt. They had manifested into this haunting figure. I created her, and now she was taking over. As the days passed, I felt myself slipping away. I avoided mirrors, terrified of what I might see. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't escape her. She was always there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the moment to consume me completely. Now I write this as a warning. Be careful of the darkness within you, for it can take on a life of its own. And once it does, there is no escape. The Reflection is always watching, always waiting, and when you least expect it, she will come for you too. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and check out my other horror stories on the screen now. And until next time, sleep tight.